Before we dive deep, join our community of curious minds. Subscribe to the Career Botanist for the hidden science of nature. Let's begin. To the naked eye, it is just nature, but look closer. It is engineering, it is economics, it is survival. Welcome to the hidden side of biology. This is Modern Botany.
There is a weed with red stalks creeping across the cracks in your pavement right now that provides more omega-3 fatty acids than salmon. Not per pound, per leaf. It has been feeding people for 4,000 years, outlived the fall of empires, and in 2022, researchers at Yale discovered it does something no other plant on Earth can do, something they dubbed a biological impossibility. The pesticide business spends billions making sure you never learn its name. In 1050 BC, someone in northern Greece stored seeds in a dirt vessel. When archaeologists opened it 3,000 years later, they found thousands of tiny black seeds, each barely 1 millimeter across, the same weed growing between the stones outside. By the 7th century BC, these seeds appear in the Samian Heraion, one of the most prominent sanctuaries in ancient Greece. By the 4th century BC, Theophrastus is writing cultivation instructions, telling growers to sow it in April, alongside their essential crops. This was not a weed, this was food. The Roman Empire cultivated it across 3 continents. Medieval commoners ate it at every meal. In 1288, Bonvessin de la Riva created a list of everything Milan consumed. This plant made the list, not as a curiosity, but as a staple. This is purslane, Portulaca oleracea, the plant that solved a problem scientists did not know existed, and the weed we were taught to destroy. Sometime after 1492, purslane crossed an ocean, but when European pioneers documented it in Massachusetts in 1672, archaeologists later discovered it had already been here for 2,500 years. Seeds found in Ontario linked to 1350 AD. Seeds found in Kentucky linked to 800 BC. Native Americans had been cultivating it alongside sunflowers, squash, and chennepods in the Eastern Agricultural Complex. 2 populations separated by an ocean both decided this plant was important. What did they know? In 1960, physiologist Ansel Keys started the 7 Countries study to understand why some populations had almost no heart disease while others died from it at epidemic rates. He tracked 12,763 men across 7 countries for 50 years. The results broke every hypothesis. The farmers of Crete devoured some of the highest fat diets in the world, more than 35% of calories from fat. According to every nutritional theory of the time, they should have been dying from heart attacks. Instead, they had the lowest cardiovascular mortality rate Keys had ever recorded. Lower than Japan, lower than Finland, lower than anywhere. For 20 years, scientists credited olive oil, the monounsaturated fats, the Mediterranean charm. Then, in the 1980s, a new crew went back to the frozen blood samples from the original study. They were not searching for cholesterol, they were searching for omega-3 fatty acids. The Cretans had 3 times the omega-3 levels of the Dutch, but they were not having 3 times more fish. They were having purslane every single day, in salads, in stews, sautéed with olive oil, fed to their chickens and goats. The animals ate purslane, the people ate the animals. The entire island's food network ran on a plant that grew wild in every field. Dr. Artemis Simopoulos examined purslane in 1992. The number seemed impossible. 300 to 400 milligrams of alpha-linolenic acid per 100 grams of fresh leaves. That is 5 to 7 times more than spinach and 15 times more than iceberg lettuce. It is the richest vegetable source of omega-3 fatty acids ever recorded. But it gets weirder. Land plants do not make EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid. That is a marine omega-3 you get from fish and algae, not from something in your garden. Purslane makes EPA. Not much, just traces, but when Simopoulos published the findings, other scientists questioned whether the samples had been adulterated. They had not. Purslane produces 7 times more vitamin E than spinach, 6 times more beta-carotene than carrots, and contains melatonin, glutathione, potassium, magnesium, and calcium in concentrations that make it one of the most nutrient-dense plants ever examined. The Lyon Diet Heart Study tested whether the creatine diet could spare lives. 605 patients were recovering from heart attacks. Half got the standard low-fat cardiac diet. Half got a Mediterranean diet high in purslane, walnuts, and omega-3 fatty acids. After 5 years, the purslane crowd had 70% fewer deaths. Not 70% fewer heart attacks, 70% fewer deaths from all causes. The study was halted early because keeping the control group on the standard diet became unethical. So why is purslane not in every grocery store? Why do most people call it a weed? In 2022, Dr. Erica Edwards and her crew at Yale published findings in Science Advances that rewrote what we thought was possible in photosynthesis. They had been studying purslane because it did something impossible. It bloomed in extreme drought while growing faster than almost any other plant. Most plants use C3 photosynthesis, which works fine with plenty of water. Corn and sugarcane evolved C4 photosynthesis, which handles high temperatures but still needs water. Desert plants like cacti use CAM photosynthesis. They open their pores at night to collect carbon dioxide when it is cool, then shut them during the day. This prevents water loss, but it also makes them grow incredibly slowly. Scientists knew purslane could do both C4 and CAM. They assumed the plant used C4 in one area of the leaf and CAM in another, keeping the systems separate. When the Yale crew mapped gene expression across purslane cells, they discovered both systems operating in the same cells at the same time. They found C4 activity during the day for fast growth and CAM activity at night for drought endurance. The products of CAM reactions feed directly into the C4 pathway. Edwards said this is a very rare combination of traits and has created a type of superplant. No other species on Earth does this. The same enzymes are utilized for different jobs at different times in the same cellular space. It is like unearthing a car engine that runs on gasoline and electricity simultaneously in the same combustion chamber, not by switching between them. Purslane survives on 1/5 of the water corn needs. It grows in soil so salty that most crops would die in days. It produces 200,000 seeds per plant. Each seed can remain viable in dirt for up to 40 years. Every stem fraction that touches the ground roots into a new plant. You cannot slay it with heat. You cannot slay it with drought. One university paper on solarization, covering soil with plastic to superheat it, concluded that if purslane dies from solarization, everything that could go right did go right. This is the plant the pesticide industry declared war on. The global pesticide market hit $40 billion in 2024. Bayer, Syngenta, and Corteva sell products specifically designed to kill purslane in lawns, gardens, and agricultural fields. Mesotrione, isoxaben, indaziflam, and 2,4-D, the same chemical weapon developed in World War II that Scott's company marketed to American homeowners in 1947, homeowners associations restrict it. Agricultural extension offices publish eradication guides. The entire infrastructure of modern horticulture treats purslane like an invasive enemy, not because it damages ecosystems, but because it cannot be restrained. You cannot patent purslane. You cannot genetically modify its seed coat to make it sterile. You cannot invent a hybrid variety that farmers have to buy new every year. It has been reproducing freely for 4,000 years, and it will keep reproducing no matter what anyone tries. Every other omega-3 source is a controlled market. Wild fish populations are plummeting. Farmed salmon requires massive infrastructure. Flaxseed oil goes rancid. Fish oil supplements cost $20 a bottle. Purslane grows for free in every climate zone where humans dwell. It produces more omega-3 per acre than any cultivated plant, and it asks for nothing but sunlight and occasional rain. The plant that could revolutionize how mankind grows food is classified as the world's most common weed. India still eats purslane. They call it kulfa. In Greece, glistrida. In Mexico, verdolagas, cooked with garlic and chiles. In China, it has been continuously cultivated for thousands of years as ma shi shen. Across Turkey, Iran, and the Middle East, it features in meze spreads and summer salads. Half the world never forgot. The other half was taught to poison it. When climate models predict where crops will fail first, they point to semi-arid zones, places where rainfall is already marginal and getting worse. These are exactly the conditions where purslane thrives. Corn and wheat require 20 to 30 inches of annual rainfall. Purslane completes its life cycle on 6 inches. Soybeans shut down photosynthesis above 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Purslane accelerates. The answer we need is already here. Learn to identify purslane. It has thick red stems and succulent paddle-shaped leaves that grow flat along the ground. The stems are smooth, never hairy. When you snap one, it is juicy, almost translucent inside. The flowers are tiny and yellow, usually tucked between the leaves. Stop poisoning it. If it is sprouting in your garden, let it. If it is coming up between your patio stones, eat it instead of spraying it. Harvest it early, the first 6 weeks when the leaves are tender. Eat it raw in salads for a lemony, slightly salty crunch. Sauté it like spinach or add it to smoothies. Pickle it, stew it, or dry it for winter. Keep the seeds. One plant produces hundreds of thousands. Let a few go to seed, gather them in late summer, and you will have enough to plant an entire garden or share with everyone you know. Teach someone else. Every person who learns to recognize purslane is one more person who stops viewing food as something that only comes from stores. One more person who understands that the most nutritious plants on Earth are often the ones we have been trained to destroy. The herbicide business does not want you to know that the richest source of omega-3 fatty acids is in your driveway. The pharmaceutical industry does not want you to know the supplement they sell for $20 a bottle is trying to duplicate what purslane does for free. The agricultural industry does not want you to know the superplant scientists are trying to engineer already exists. It is named purslane. It has been feeding mortals for 4,000 years, and it is in your driveway right now. If this vault opens something for you, please subscribe to Nature's Lost Vault and hit the bell. Every like and share helps preserve this knowledge. The next vault opens soon.